Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you'll subscribe and that we'll have some things here that will be helpful to you. And today we are going to make a Get Well card, and I'm going to give you a couple of ideas for Get Well gifts. And so we're going to start right out with the card, and what we're going to need are some colored pencils and some stencils. I got these on Amazon, and I will link everything below so you can easily purchase them. The stencil I'm going to use particularly is this one that is basically that hexagon honeycomb shape. I use that so often. You're going to need a paper cutter, some kind of inking kind of tool. You can use a sponge. I just happen to have this one, and a stamp pad in yellow, various paper in white and yellow. I have this stamp that says 100%. I've actually had it for several years. It's from Stampin' Up! And or you can just write that if you don't have that stamp. And then you're going to need an envelope to send it in. I found this nice yellow one. This is the invitation size of envelope, and you can get boxes of these in all kinds of colors and white, of course, at Walmart. That's where I got mine. And then you're going to need a sheet of stickers that you create in Cricut Design Space, and then some written sentiment. We're going to use Be Well Soon. I also did that in Cricut Design Space. So let's just jump into Cricut Design Space really quickly, and I'll show you how to create both of these. Okay, so first let's get our sentiment in there. And so the font that I want to use is called Lemonade Script, and it's just a really nice one that's a written script. So we're going to type in there, Be Well Soon. There we go, in this Lemonade Script. And up here where it's under Style, I'm going to make sure I put in Writing, because then what happens is that will tell my Cricut to use the pen to write this. One other thing I'm going to do is ungroup these and just slide this in over so it's connected. And I'm going to look over and see, yeah, I do like the way the rest of them are connected. Let me move the S just slightly. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and attach those together so that is ready to write. Now, I know that I want this to be right around 3 inches. Actually, let's go more like 2.5 inches long. And so there it is. And then I want to make more than one of these. So I am going to go ahead and duplicate that. So I have basically 3 of them. Just make sure that if you want the Cricut to use a pen and write it out, that you show that up here, that you choose pen, and that you've chosen a writing script. Let's get our B sticker in here. So I'm going to go to Images, and let's just type in B. And then I'm going to scroll through, and I want to use a cute bee for this one. And I want one that I can tilt to make it look like it's flying. And so here's the one that I want to choose. I just feel like that's really cute. So when you get that into your canvas, you will see over here on the right that it's actually 4 different cuts to create that bee. But I don't want to layer it. I just want to create a sticker. And you always create a sticker the same way in Design Space. You highlight the whole bee. You come down here to the right bottom and you click on Flatten, and it just pulls it together. And then look over here on your right. Once it's flattened, then it is a Print, then Cut. So that's how you create a sticker. And then I don't want to waste that sticker paper, and so this bee I'm going to resize down so it's about 2.5 inches square. And then I am going to duplicate that 9 times, because then that will put bees on my paper and pretty much fill up that sticker paper, so I'm not wasting paper. So then when we go in to make it, you'll see that it puts a whole bunch of those bees on that sticker paper and basically fills it up, so I'm not wasting the paper. And then on the second one, what I'm going to do, I want some paper around these sayings so that I have room to cut it out and have some outline. So what I'm going to do is just pull these down so they're just sitting. So there's, about an inch between each one of them. And that gives me some paper that I can then cut out and use on the card. And then, of course, then I would just continue and make it. All right, so let's go back to making the card. To get started, the first thing we're going to do is create a standard card size. Now, this standard size fits these invitation envelopes really easily. And to do that, I'm taking a piece of cardstock that is 8.5 by 11, and I'm actually just going to cut it the long way. So I'm going to cut it exactly in half at 5.5, just like that. That gives me 2 cards. And then I'm going to fold this, and you can have your card open, this way like a book. It can open up this way. Now let me show you one other option. When I do the initial cut on this, if I cut it the long way instead, so this is 8.5, so I would cut this at 4 1/4. Then I have the option of folding it this way. And you see, I still have the same size of card, but now I can open it up this way or this way. And so I think for this card today, I would like to open it this way. I want that long, just because I think that's unusual and fun. So whichever way you do it, that is fine, and it'll fit right into that invitation size envelope. Okay, so now to start out with, I want to create a real pretty inked background. And so I know now that this card that I've cut and folded is now 5.5 by 4 1/4. And so I want to get a piece of paper, and I want to cut it down so I can create an inset in there. And in fact, I think I'd like to double that up. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this, and I'm going to cut this at 4 inches. And I'll show you why I'm doing all this. And then I'm going to cut this at 5 1/4. And then what I end up with is a really pretty little outline piece. And I kind of like that layered look, and it gives the card some weight and some structure. So this one was at 5 1/4 by 4. And now I'm going to cut one even a little bit smaller in white. And so this one now, we're going to cut this at 5. Then I'm going to cut this one at 3 3/4. So as I go down in size, I can then create that layer upon layer look. And it just kind of gives it that kind of really nice, tidy, clean, but layered look where the card has some weight, some body to it. So I'm finished with that part right now. So now I'm going to put these aside, and let's go to our honeycomb. And I'm just going to go ahead, and I've got my paper calendar down here. I'm going to center this, and then I'm going to go ahead and use my tape and tape that down. There, I think I'll do it at the corners here, because I want to hold it all in place, but I don't want it to cover any of that honeycomb, because I'm going to be using that. There we go. So now what I'm going to do is take my stamping pad. This is called Summer Sun. This is from Stampin' Up. I have had this for over a decade. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of come in. I don't want every one of these shapes to be exactly the same intensity, color, depth. I actually do want some of them a little darker, some a little lighter, and I'll show you why, because I think that just adds a little bit more visual interest. Okay, and I love the, you know, with a bee theme, you really get that really pretty yellow that's so cheerful. When someone's sick, that's nice. So now let's take a look at that. See how pretty that is? I just think that's really fun. So I want, though, to finish this out. So I'm going to realign it, and then I'm going to tape it down once again without getting tape onto my card. And I'm just going to go in and do some more of that inking. And let's see how we end up. Okay, there we go. And I like that, and I don't mind that, you know, my hexagons aren't all exactly in the same place. I like that. It gives it a little bit of a, oh, I don't know, I guess an irregular look that isn't completely balanced, and I do like that. And I'm just going to quickly get the ink off of that stencil so that it's clean and ready to use again. So there we go. Now what we're going to do is take our, let me get my card back in here. So now when we layer it, we've got that fun dimension that I really like. Okay, so it's going to go together like that. Now we're going to take, let's actually do this part next, where we're going to take our sentiment, which is be well soon. And I'm going to just go ahead and trim that down. And I did several because I can foresee, we've had a little bit of a strange spring where we live. Lots of people have been sick. And so I'm going to take that sentiment of be well soon. And now, because I have this background color, when I put that there, it will be easily seen. And I really like that. Now, so to make this a little easier, first we're going to peel off the background paper. And that way, if you've got a little glitch somewhere, you're ripping the paper, not your sticker. I just think that's a little bit of an easier way to do this. Because sometimes with the stickers, sometimes your, just in case your Cricut didn't completely cut in some of those ins and outs, you can get all of that off first. So all of the surrounding paper is gone, and then you can much more easily remove the sticker. And because this one has little legs and things, I want to be real careful as I take that off so I don't lose the antenna or the legs or anything like that. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want my bee. And in fact, I think I would like it to go this way. And I'm going to add a little bit of detail to that too. And I'm going to get my sentiment down there. I'm going to use this tape runner and get that on. Oops. And I think I'm going to go right there. I'm just to add a little bit more interest. I think I'm going to come in with my black marker, and I'm just going to draw a little path with dots that kind of shows where the bee might have been flying. And I want it to be kind of fun. So it looks like the bee flew off from over here and maybe flew around a little bit. And that just gives it a little bit more interest, makes it a little bit more fun. Okay, so now that that part's done, now we can go ahead and assemble the card. And I like to assemble from the inside out, or I guess it's more the outside in. Okay, because I want to make sure I get things really well centered. And here's the thing about homemade cards. It may not be perfection, and I try to do it as best I can. But, you know, if it's not absolutely perfect, hopefully the person who is receiving it won't be too judgmental or picky. And it goes both ways, that when you receive a card, especially homemade ones, it's nice to just think of the thought that went into it and not be too judgmental or picky. I really like this. I think it's super cute. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to write inside a little thing. I want it to say, we hope you're feeling 100% soon. And I'm going to do that in my handwriting, but I'm going to do the stamp with the 100% right there in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and use this orange stamp. So there you go. That will fit right into that bright yellow envelope, and that actually is going to go in the mail. Now, if you were doing a gift, a get well gift, let me show you two ideas for a get well gift, and some things that you can give to a person who has been sick and hopefully help them feel well again. So I found this basket. I believe I got this at Target. I'm going to go ahead and fill it with some tissue paper. And I want to bring in that yellow brightness. So I'm going to just lay it out, and then I'm going to just push that down in. I got this tissue paper at the dollar store. So tissue paper is not expensive, very easy to get a hold of. Let me show you some of the things we're adding in. One thing that's real helpful, a box of Kleenex, of course. We're adding in some wipes, some popcorn. And it's really fun just in every now and then, some of these to just give it a quick wrap up. It doesn't have to be fancy, but that gives it a little bit of height. Let's mix in some other things. We've got some hand sanitizer. Nowadays, that's a very common thing. Maybe some hand lotion. We're adding in some throat lozenges. There we go. And I showed these jars from the Dollar Tree in a video a couple of weeks ago, and fun just to get something like that, put in a little treat. And then one thing I saw that I kind of thought was a great idea, how about a book? I've got here a real fun mystery called Lemon Tart that kind of goes with this theme, and maybe even a movie. So there you go. And then if we have our B card as part of that, that can be just such a nice, thoughtful gift for someone who hasn't been feeling well. Of course, you can think of other things to add in here. Oh, I wanted to put in a little jar of honey. You could add maybe some tea. Just all kinds of things to help a person who's feeling sick feel a little better. And so there's an idea for a gift for someone who is not feeling well. Now, let me show you one other idea. So for my second idea for a get well gift, I found this really pretty container at the Target dollar spot. It was $5, and it's just a nice can, beautiful pink color. So what I did is I went ahead and measured from the edge of this opening over to here. I didn't measure that whole distance because I don't have that distance to use. So I just measured from that opening over to this side, and that gave me about 6 inches. So then I went into Cricut Design Space. I made some words to put on top. I used some scrap vinyl. And so we're going to put the words here on top. And then we're going to talk about what can go in that tin. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut that. I used the Oracle white vinyl, which I love. I think it's my favorite, partly because it is so easy to weed. And I have found that some other vinyls, they're actually kind of difficult to weed. And I really, really like this Oracle vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and try to line it up at the bottom of my word here so that I can have a better chance of getting it nice and straight. And we're going to push that down. And then I also used, this is from Paper Studio. Look at how well that pink matches that tin. I just was so excited to find that scrap that was the perfect pink to match that tin. So we're going to go ahead and get that down. It's so nice when you're not feeling well to have someone do something thoughtful, reach out to you, maybe send some comfort. I'm going to, well, let's see, do I want to position it? Yeah, I think I want to position it like this, and I'm going to give myself some space at the top to put the heart, the nice pink heart. I'm just going to lay that on and just get an idea. Yeah, I think that's just how I would like it. So I have on here socially distanced delicious hugs, because with you know, what we've all been through over the last couple of years, that social distancing has kind of become such a big deal. And I've noticed, you know, we don't really shake hands anymore. We don't hug people anymore unless they're just close family. And so it's kind of nice to send a hug in some other way. And so let's get our heart on here. There we go. I'm going to just use this like a sticker. I'm not going to use any transfer paper, tape. And then I'm just going to try to center that. There we go. Okay, now what I was thinking would be really fun to go inside here would be to make some homemade popcorn that's maybe caramel corn, homemade popcorn where you melt white chocolate, drizzle that in there, something like that. It could be a favorite that a person has when they're sick. I know in our family we have people that for some reason when they're sick they want to eat potato chips. So kind of be thinking about what that person might need who's sick, someone that you know well. It could be cookies, it could be a salad, it could be any number of things. It could be a small one-person dinner, but there's just so much that can just go in there. And so think of a way that you can help someone and reach out to them when they are not feeling well, and just show them some extra kindness. I hope these ideas maybe spurred new ideas of your own. And if you liked either of these ideas, please be sure to subscribe. Maybe comment down below ideas of things that you do when others are sick, ideas that you have for how we can help each other when we're not feeling well. And we need to make sure that we're considering not just physical illness, but people who are maybe struggling emotionally, that they might need just a little bit of extra kindness in a simple gift like this. And so I hope you enjoy those. Be sure to subscribe and join us next time for more fun craft ideas.